Future of energy in India. Power is one of the most critical components of infrastructure crucial for the economic growth and welfare of nations. The existence and development of adequate infrastructure is essential for sustained growth of the Indian economy. Currently, the power sector is at a crucial juncture of its evolution, with many private producers and domestic manufacturers also playing a significant role in various capacities, and greater reliance on markets subject to regulation. Developers of power plants have been facing numerous constraints like coal, gas allocation, environment clearance, land acquisition, financing and funds tie-ups, etc. for last about 4 years. This has resulted in only very few new projects coming up. Enabling an affordable and secure clean energy future. India's energy needs are vast and growing. It is estimated that India's share of total global primary energy demand will roughly double to over 10% by 2040. Today, its per capita electricity consumption is one-third road that of the world average. As the post-pandemic Indian economy resumes its growth, so would be the growth of energy and energy products. At the same time, climate change potentially threatens the world with an existential crisis, as global carbon dioxide emissions today stands at over 35 billion tons. Continued growth in energy demand requires urgent and well-thought-out initiatives to prepare India for an affordable, secure, and clean energy future. While the Renewables initiative by India has been stellar as it continues to march towards its target of 450 gigawatts of renewables by 2030, it can only address a part of the vast everyday energy needs of the country, which spans across electricity, transportation, agriculture, chemicals, petrochemicals, cement, and steel. As the world and India transitions to a low-carbon energy future, coal and fossil fuels have largely been relegated to a dirty and unutterable word in the clean and green energy circles of the so-called industrialized world. Such a fanatical approach of renewables-only green energy defies the basic principles of science and economics and is a fundamental impediment to realizing an affordable, secure, and reliable clean energy future in an accelerated time frame. We must understand that the enemy is carbon dioxide and emissions, not coal or gas or oil or nuclear or solar or wind. More importantly, even if renewables were to replace the majority of the thermal electricity generation, the fact is that electricity generation is about 30% to 35% of the total CO2 emissions in the economy. In fact, an equal amount of about 30% of the CO2 emissions come from industrial sources which use some form of carbon to produce everyday materials like steel, cement, and plastics for which we have no substitutes. Renewable energy in India. India was the first country in the world to set up a Ministry of Non-Conventional Energy Resources in early 1980s. Renewable energy in India comes under the purview of the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, MNRE. Newer renewable electricity sources are targeted to grow massively by 2022, including a more than doubling of India's large wind power capacity, and an almost 15-fold increase in solar power from April 2016 levels. Such ambitious targets would place India amongst the world leaders in renewable energy use, and place India at the center of its International Solar Alliance project promoting the growth and development of solar power internationally to over 120 countries. As of the 30th of April 2016, India's cumulative grid interactive or grid-tied renewable energy capacity, excluding large hydro, reached about 42.85 gigawatts, surpassing the installed capacity of large-scale hydroelectric power in India for the first time in Indian history. 63% of the renewable power came from wind, while solar contributed nearly 16%. Large hydro installed capacity was 42.78 gigawatts as of the 30th of April 2016, and is administered separately by the Ministry of Power and not included in MNRE targets. From 2015 onwards, the MNRE began laying down actionable plans for the renewable energy sector under its ambit to make a quantum jump, building on strong foundations already established in the country. MNRE renewable electricity targets have been upscaled to grow from just under 43 gigawatts in April 2016 to 175 gigawatts by the year 2022, including 100 gigawatts from solar power, 60 gigawatts from wind power, 10 gigawatts from biopower and 5 gigawatts from small hydropower. The ambitious targets would see India quickly becoming one of the leading green energy producers in the world and surpassing numerous developed countries. The government intends to achieve 40% cumulative electric power capacity from non-fossil fuel sources by 2030. Future perspectives for renewable energy in India. India is facing an acute energy scarcity which is hampering its industrial growth and economic progress. Setting up of new power plants is inevitably dependent on import of highly volatile fossil fuels. Thus, it is essential to tackle the energy crisis through judicious utilization of abundant renewable energy resources, such as biomass energy, solar energy, wind energy and geothermal energy. Apart from augmenting the energy supply, renewable resources will help India in mitigating climate change. India is heavily dependent on fossil fuels for its energy needs. Most of the power generation is carried out by coal and mineral oil-based power plants, which contribute heavily to greenhouse gases emission. The average per capita consumption of energy in India is around 500 W, which is much lower than that of developed countries like USA, Europe, Australia, Japan etc. However, this figure is expected to rise sharply due to high economic growth and rapid industrialization. The consumption of electricity is growing on the worldwide basis. Energy is a necessity and sustainable renewable energy is a vital link in industrialization and development of India. A transition from conventional energy systems to those based on renewable resources is necessary to meet the ever-increasing demand for energy and to address environmental concerns. Like and subscribe if you like the information.